Someone moved to Sarajevo last year. €280 a month for the apartment, €5 lunches, coffee for €1.50. 3 weeks in, they realised they hadn't checked their bank balance once. That story sent me down an 8-month research spiral, and I kept finding the same thing. 4 countries in Europe where the lifestyle is identical to Italy or France, but the prices feel like a different planet. Today we're covering all 4. And not just the cheap rent, also exactly how people are building real income there right now. Let's get into it. Bosnia and Herzegovina doesn't feel like it was built for tourists, and that is exactly why people fall in love with it the moment they arrive. The scenery hits first. Huge green mountains, Ottoman-era old towns, rivers so turquoise they look edited on camera. The starry-most bridge in Mostar looks like a film set, and then you sit down at a cafe beside the river, order a coffee and a pastry, and pay €2.20 for both. That moment is when most people understand what this country actually is. A 1-bedroom apartment outside the tourist centre costs as little as €300 a month. A traditional sit-down meal runs under €6. Coffee in the old town is around €1.50. And locals will sit in those cafes for 2 hours without any pressure to leave or spend more. That pace of life alone is worth the move for a lot of people. But here's what's actually interesting about Bosnia in 2026. Expats aren't just moving here to save money. They're moving here to build things while costs are still this low. Some are running Airbnb rentals near tourist hotspots like Mostar and Sarajevo, where international visitor numbers keep climbing every single year. Others are launching cafes, photography tour businesses, or travel YouTube channels, because the scenery generates cinematic content without the production budget you'd need anywhere in Western Europe. Remote workers earning Western salaries are relocating here because Bosnia lets them keep dramatically more of what they earn. A salary that feels average in London becomes genuinely comfortable in Sarajevo. The math just changes completely. And because Bosnia still feels undiscovered internationally, most people who study these markets believe this is the cheapest moment to enter before attention changes everything. Turkey doesn't feel cheap. That's the detail that catches people completely off guard. The cafes look expensive. The apartments look expensive. The coastlines look like somewhere billionaires go on holiday. Istanbul feels like one of the most alive cities on the planet. Expats who move there describe a specific moment, usually in the first week, where they check what they actually spent and genuinely don't believe the number. In cities outside the main tourist zones, fully furnished apartments rent for €350 to €700 a month. Fresh food markets are so affordable that expats routinely report spending under €150 a month on groceries. Street food costs less than a coffee in Paris, and private healthcare and dental work are so cheap compared to Western Europe that entire communities of people now move to Turkey specifically for medical treatment. But Turkey's biggest advantage isn't the low costs, it's the opportunity. Turkey is one of the largest countries on this entire list, which means there is real economic activity happening everywhere, not just in one city. Foreigners here are building businesses around tourism, cafes, Airbnb rentals, e-commerce, import-export trading, crypto traders, and Amazon sellers, because living costs stay dramatically below Western Europe, while the lifestyle still feels world-class. When rent is €400 instead of €1,800, every euro earned works harder. Every month lasts longer. Every year of runway before running out of money extends further. Turkey stops looking like a cheap country and starts looking like a deliberate financial decision that most people simply haven't made yet. There's a specific feeling people describe when they first arrive in North Macedonia, and almost everyone who writes about it uses the same word: disorienting. You walk through the old stone streets of Ohrid beside a massive blue lake surrounded by medieval churches and mountains. It looks like somewhere in southern Italy or Greece. Every visual signal says this should cost southern European money. Then the bill arrives, a coffee for €1.20, a full meal for €7, and something just doesn't add up. Financially, people consistently describe North Macedonia as feeling like Europe did 15 years ago, and that is not an exaggeration. Modern apartments in cities like Skopje or Ohrid rent for €250 to €450 a month. The old towns are genuinely beautiful. The lake is one of the most underrated views on the entire continent. The food is excellent. And unlike some cheap destinations where low price means obvious compromise, the quality of life here is high across the board. What makes North Macedonia particularly compelling right now is timing. Mass tourism hasn't fully arrived yet. This is the version of Europe people wish they had discovered before Croatia exploded in price and popularity a decade ago. The foreigners moving here now are acutely aware of that timing. Remote workers are choosing North Macedonia because ultra-low living costs allow them to work fewer hours online while maintaining a dramatically better lifestyle than they had back home. And if North Macedonia continues its path toward EU integration, property values and tourism numbers here could shift significantly over the next decade. The final country on this list might be the single smartest move of all four, because unlike the others, this one is already inside the European Union. Romania is what happens when a country modernizes faster than the world notices. And in 2026, most of the world still hasn't noticed. That gap between what Romania actually is and what people still assume it is the opportunity. Cities like Cluj-Napoca, Brașov, Sibiu, and parts of Bucharest now feel genuinely modern. And here's the detail that consistently surprises people the most. Romania's internet speeds are among the fastest in all of Europe. Not fast for Eastern Europe, actually among the fastest on the entire continent. The kind of speeds that matter if you're running any kind of online business or remote career. Beautiful old architecture, walkable city centres, strong cafe culture, reliable infrastructure, co-working spaces packed with remote workers from across Europe. In certain neighbourhoods, it feels like a cheaper version of Prague, before Prague became expensive, and the prices still haven't caught up. A modern apartment rents for €400 to €700 a month, depending on location. Groceries, restaurants, gyms, and entertainment are dramatically cheaper than Germany, France, or the Netherlands. Expats moving here consistently report cutting monthly expenses nearly in half, without feeling like they gave up any meaningful quality of life. Romania doesn't feel cheap in a compromised way. It feels efficient, like a country quietly upgrading itself while the rest of the world still operates on stereotypes from 15 years ago. The stability factor is also real, and it matters. EU protections, European standard infrastructure, safety, modern healthcare, and still dramatically lower costs than Western Europe. That combination is becoming genuinely rare, because most affordable countries force a compromise somewhere. Foreigners here are building careers in software development, AI startups, cybersecurity, digital marketing, freelancing, and e-commerce. Cluj specifically has attracted a serious wave of entrepreneurs because internet speeds are elite, while operating costs are a fraction of what the same business would cost in London, Amsterdam, or Berlin. Some people move to Romania purely to extend their runway, to buy themselves extra years of building time before running out of money. Others are buying apartments now because they believe Romania is entering the same transformation Poland experienced a decade ago.